Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ladies, gentlemen, gamers, and fellow League of Legends lovers, haters, players, and ARAM Mayhem enjoyers. Welcome back. It's been about 2 weeks since we last reviewed the game, and even though I always say I don't want to do these anymore, I come crawling back like the bitch that I am. But we are back again to hopefully quickly go through the changes coming to League. Now, this is where I don't expect too many changes because Riot is really getting ready for season 2026. And they already kind of revealed a lot of shit from their dev update, and I reacted to it, and it was really, really surprising, actually. And I actually saw an article recommended to me today saying, like, oh yeah, Riot knows pro play might get fucked by the new changes in 2026. So that's going to be for that patch note video. That might honestly be another hour. I hope it's not, but if there was ever a patch notes that was going to be long, it's going to be that one. But because all this stuff is basically over there and not right here, right now, I'm assuming and hoping that this is going to be a quick one. So let's take a look and let's give our very thoughtful, very insightful, very intelligent review. So it's the last patch of the year. Oh, is this going to last the whole month? Wait, really? Sizable micro patch mid-December. Oh, so we're gonna have some time before we ever have to do this again. Cool. So gameplay side, it's lighter, of course, because again, they're getting ready for a new season. What are they really gonna change now? They're gonna change some stuff for Arena and ARAM Mayhem. Let's go! That's the main thing I play nowadays anyway, if I am playing anything. But I beat the past and I basically beat everything, so I'm not really playing League much. But I still have good opinions. The one thing I was doing was I actually was playing Rift because I was playing Zaheen. I was trying him out. And he's okay. But that's not really for here. So, WASD finally is coming to League of Legends. Now, I'm going to be honest, I almost completely forgot about this shit, but yeah, it's here. It's here faster than I thought. I thought this was going to be coming next year, but it's not going to be in every queue, to be fair, but they talked about this in the dev update. I am ready to try this out. I really feel like it's going to violate and fuck my mind because the controls are so different in a sense. But this is where ADCs technically it's like a buff to them. Everyone else it's neutral if you can get used to it. So I have to try it. But I'm a little scared to try it, and I don't know when I'm gonna try it. Maybe for ARAM Mayhem if they put it in there. But that's cool. The last split is happening. Blah blah blah. Last patch. The Winter Wonder skins are coming, which we're gonna see below, and everything else. Cool. So we'll talk about the skins soon, but you know, a little spoiler alert. I think they're pretty decent. Let's keep going. So ranked is ending soon. You're gonna get all your rewards as usual. WASD launches. Now, one thing Riot does is they say WASD or like they say WASD like some weird fucking like elongated way, and I hate it. But yeah, WASD is coming. So where is it coming out to? Customs, normals, swift play, ARAM. Oh my god, yes, it's gonna be in Mayhem. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, cool. So they had to do a lot of fixing and a lot of tweaking for this ship because apparently there was a really bad bug on Nunu that kept happening with WASD where Nunu kind of broke the game. I think he could turn like really, really sharply with his snowball. And I don't remember if he was killing people with like some damage that shit happened, but yeah, Nunu was busted, and then they found another issue where people would like and stuff, but there's a lot of issues, and I'm sure there's going to be many more, but I truly believe that with WASD coming to League of Legends, they're going to eventually put this shit on console. And I briefly talked about this, I believe, in the dev update video too. But League already is really old, and to have the players that League has and be as old as it is kind of very surprising. And this is where if they can somehow break into the console market and then open up a free-to-play established great relatively game into the console market, their player base is going to explode and they're going to make so much more money. So there's that. But yeah, because we already have League on the phone, we already have Wild Rift, so I'm pretty sure WASD and people in the past have sort of done this too. They've modded League to be able to play with a controller. I believe there was like a Riven player who played with a controller too. I think it was Box, but I don't remember. But this is nothing new. It's just now it's official, it's coming, and I wouldn't be surprised if eventually we see League on consoles, which would be fucking crazy. But either way, We have a new dynamic camera option, which I have to see how that is. A scout ahead button, which is basically just free camming, just without pressing two buttons. You just like press and hold one button. So it's basically not a toggle, essentially. And then WASD remapping, which is standard, but I'm glad it's here. Cool. And they're going to change it as we go on before they put it into ranked. So champ selects. So I'm surprised that this is getting, again, pushed so much sooner. But I don't know if they're doing the timing. I think the timing stuff might be in the new season for next year. This is where I really gotta like think like what's gonna be here and what's gonna be next year because my mind is blending with the dev update. But either way, so they're basically making it so you can't ban someone's champion that they're hovering. I think this is great. I think it could potentially be used in niche situations to troll. Like, oh yeah, you know, I could just hover the champion, you can't ban it, and then I switch at the last second. Always there's gonna be dickheads, but overall this is a great change. So this is great. And they've obviously done testing and it's been great. Sanctum. Fuck this stupid shit. So one thing to talk about, and I might leave this more towards the end, but yeah, these new Sanctum skins are basically just legendary recolors, but we'll talk about that. Your shop is back! Yippee. Arcane Anniversary! Yippee. New icon. Whoopee. Alright, so Braum, let's go into the balance. Is Braum gonna get anything significant? This is where, when Braum came out, there was a lot less champions in the game, and Braum was really good. In fact, he was so good they went him top lane. But now I feel like Braum is still decent. He's a good counter. But I feel like just with the general state of the bot lane, and Riot even acknowledged this too in their dev update, bot laners are not good, and I think it has to do with the culture thing. I think no one really wants to go support unless you're high up in the elo or you're a pro player, because everyone just wants to go mage and feel like the main character. So Braum is a decent counter pick with the shield, of course, but not many people go Braum, and I don't feel like Braum is that crazy. And his skill cap is decently high too. It's not easy to play Braum either. So his health is going up, and the damage on follow-up attacks is going up, which almost makes it seem like they want him to do more damage. Now, I don't think this is going to push him back into top lane, but Braum doesn't do that much damage either way, and he's not really autoing you a lot either. I feel like this is a nothing change. This is whatever. Mundo! So, what are they doing? They are nerfing Mundo because he was too strong. Basically, he was really good at jungle. And this is where, with a lot of the new items coming in, and again, I'm jumping the gun for the next patch, but Mundo seems like with a lot of the new items, he's going to be very fun, man. I love me some Mundo. But yeah, they're just nerfing him, jungle at least. Kane. I never thought I would see the day where they're nerfing Shadow Assassin. Sometimes they do it, most of the time they don't because Rost is just too good. I remember there was like a period of time where they just kept buffing Shadow Assassin, but it's doing too much damage, they're lowering it by 5%. Not a nothing change, but pretty whatever. Kha'Zix, this champion sucks, he needs a rework or to be removed. I hate this champion. But allegedly, I'm wrong. He's one of the strongest junglers at the moment, I refuse to believe that. And his niche is so bad too. Like, I hate that he has to go after isolated people. It's such a bad niche, and like, I feel like higher up play. But regardless, they're nerfing him by 10. Okay, whatever. And it's on his W. That's whatever. Master Yi! So apparently Yi's been really good. I wouldn't know because I haven't played jungle in a hot minute, but Yi was one of my favorites, and of course I still to this day occasionally watch Cowsep. So, I thought Yi was bad because Cowsep kept going lane mastery, but granted, he could be doing that just to get views because I feel like after playing years and years of Yi, there's only so much you could do and be entertaining. So yeah, they're slightly nerfing Yi, which means they might be nerfing Yi top as well. But, this isn't huge nerfs, I don't think. This is fine. Melisandre. So, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is all this? So, I remember last patch, or I don't know if it was last patch, but one of the recent patches, they quote unquote nerfed Mel, but realistically, they didn't really nerf her. They kind of just like broke her, I think, a little bit more. I think they were buffing the passive and nerfing the ult, and I was just like, huh? I think that's what it was. But she's still frustrating to play against, and people still don't like her. So what are they doing? They're nerfing her E like fuck. Oh, this is just her E. Oh, never mind. Uh, so the E isn't really gonna do too much damage, but they keep nerfing the fuck out of this thing. It's costing even more mana too. Oh my god. And they're saying they're still gonna touch her too. They have larger work planned for early next year. Wow. Wow. I don't know how you can make this character feel fair unless you really just gut the W and then like I don't know what else. Because the passive is an obvious pain point too. It's a really, really good passive, but uh, Mel might be the new Yumi. I don't think anyone is gonna be as bad as Yumi because they changed Yumi for fucking years. But Mel is like gonna keep getting touched. Skarner had to go through the same thing a little bit, but whatever. Oh, we're getting Nasus changes. Okay, they're buffing his health, and they're buffing the base damage of Q by 5. Okay, fuck this shit. That's ass. Nidalee, I've grown a deeper appreciation for Nidalee after getting her in Era of Mayhem now. I used to lump Nidalee in with the fucking garbage dump, which is Lee Sin, Elise, and Kha'Zix. Now, that's up for debate, of course, but I think Nidalee is probably one of the better of the three. Now, granted, she's kind of like Blitzcrank. You have to only do one thing to make the rest of your kit work, which is land Q. And if you don't do that, you're basically doing nothing, unless you're playing Nidalee support, in which case you're a little weird. But not completely weird. It's actually not that bad. But they are nerfing the fuck out of her. Or, sorry, not nerfing the fuck out of her, nerfing her slightly. Okay. They're just kind of bug fixing her, but they're calling it a nerf. Whatever. So it's working as intended. The really big damage is not going to be affected, though. So that's fine. Sedge. Oof. I haven't seen Sedge in a hot minute, and this is where they usually touch Sedge when it becomes roleplay time. But I feel like in general, and I was kind of thinking about this today because they're really buffing ADCs up for the next season, and they're slightly buffing tanks too because top lane also is pretty weak. When I play tanks, I really feel like I'm not that tanky. And then the question is, okay, well, should tanks just never die? I don't know, but for a while, I feel like just tanks haven't really been fun, barring some standout issues, Mundo being one of them. So, what are they doing with Sedge? I feel like Sedge could use a big buff here. So, what are they doing? The cooldown on Q is going down by 1, the mana cost is going down by 10, and AP is going up. Okay. And then the W is also going a lot better on everything. The E ratio is going up, and the R ratio is, or sorry, the R cooldown is going slightly down. Okay, I would say each of these individually or whatever, but overall, because they're like almost buffing everything, like they're buffing every ability on her kit, just not in all the same way. She's reasonably, I think, a little bit better. Wow. Now maybe she was just so far behind. This is gonna bring her back up to normalcy, but I hope people don't go her AP top. Either way, Swain. Swain is another character, kind of ironically enough to me, like Yumi, because they keep buffing this guy, and he's just not good, and he does not live out the fantasy. Now, they've given him in his history pretty substantial buffs, right? And I'm talking about since they reworked him. They made the ult last forever, which it didn't used to do. They then made the ult cast multiple times, which it didn't used to do. They buffed the Q fucking to God's end. And even with all this, he's still relegated to support, which is really sad. And they're still buffing him. So the heal per fragment is no longer scaling, it's flat 6%. Early game, this doesn't really mean much. Later on, when you've stacked a lot of health, it means a little bit more. But again, I feel like tanks just kind of suck. And even though Swin isn't necessarily tanky, he's more healthy, not tanky. He still dies like nothing. It's not like Scion, who lives out the real tank fantasy. I feel like Swin is just kind of a gimmick. Is he good? Yeah. Is he the best? No. And he's extremely gimmicky. And despite all the buffs, unless they absolutely break his ass, I feel like he's just not that good. Which is sad too, because Old Swin was so fun. Victor Victorious. They're buffing him. They're buffing him by... Oh, wow, actually a decent amount on the shield. Okay. And then a lot of bug fixes. Okay. Cool. Victor's slightly stronger. Ooh, Zaheen. Okay. So let's talk about Zaheen now. So I've played a couple games with Zaheen, and the sad part is I do it in Swift Play so I can actually get him without him being picked or banned by someone else. And it's usually against a mirror matchup. Now, I will be the first to admit I am a little rusty. So when it comes to Zaheen, I'm not the best one there is in the world, but I can see the appeal. I think early game has never been my specialty, which is why I play ADC really. But Zahin's early game is whatever. I think where he shines is like mid to late game, where he just scales and fucking gets the free res like crazy. He provides so much value. It's wild. He's decently fun. I like him a lot. I almost forget he uses mana sometimes because you're just supposed to spam anyway. But he's a good addition. He's a simple addition to top lane too. But in terms of buffs or nerfs, I have no clue. So they also micro patched him. So they're just putting it here for posterity. So they think he was too strong. No duh, his kit looked pretty overloaded, especially with the armor pen. His damage was a bit high. And this is where, like, aside from the pull, he has no CC. Not too many, like, dashes, besides, like, his ult and his E. So it's like, they really have to front load a lot of him, because what does he really bring to a fight? Damage. So they had to front load him, but they did put a lot in there. So what are they doing? So they want to give him time, which is good. I think things should come out a little bit more broken than weak, because if they come out weak, it just leaves a bad stain in everyone's mouth. So the fact that Zaheen came out like, you know, a little bit stronger, and they're gonna let him sit with it for a little bit, I think is fine. And apparently he's really strong in higher ranks, so they're probably gonna nerf him. So let's see. Okay, his bonus AD per stack is slightly nerfed, although that's going to compound on itself. The QAD ratio is down by 10. Okay, the second cast is down by 50. Holy shit. And now in the current patch, because that was all from the micro fix, or the micro patch, the cooldown is going up by 1. And to be fair, this was a very low cooldown for what it was giving you, because you're going to also build haste on him too, usually. And it looks like they are buffing his jungle monster damage, I think. Okay, so they also want jungle, I guess, to be a little viable on him. And then the sweet spot damage is getting nerfed because this did a lot of damage, especially for the cooldown it was. And it's a movement ability. Okay, cool. Overall, I still think he's okay. Ooh, excuse me. I don't know how much more I'm gonna play him. I do find him fun, but I feel like he's in a decent spot. Oh wow, they're actually touching Zed, and all they're doing is they're nerfing his jungle with this big ass essay. Okay. We're song is early clear. Da, 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 da. It's only by a few seconds too. Okay. It's crazy to me that Zed is a jungler now. If you told me this back in the day, I would say that person's trolling and should get banned. Anyway, on to runes, because that's all the champion buffs. So, Bloodline is getting buffed. Now, this is a shell of its former self. I believe it takes longer to stack, but overall as well, you used to, I think, get 11% or 10% lifesteal from this. Now it only gives like 6. Or was it 12%? I don't remember. But it used to give a lot more lifesteal. They nerfed the fuck out of it because there was too much healing in the game. And they're giving some slight power back to this, but this really is not a lot. Like, most of the time, unless you know you're going to build a lot of attack speed or you just really like lifesteal, this doesn't really even help you because later on in the game, it's mostly team fighting. Lifesteal isn't going to matter too much unless you're Samira. Or in lane, this isn't going to help you because you don't have it stacked yet. So I feel like Bloodline is a really weak option, especially because the alternative is attack speed, and attack speed is always really going to be helping you. I'm glad they're buffing it, but I feel like it's still kind of shit. Arena! So this is where I wonder when they're going to do their big update to Arena. Arena came back. I don't remember how long it's been back for, but it's back for a while. And I always say I don't like that they brought it back and they changed almost nothing. And they did say they had a big change coming, so I don't think it's here though, but I'm assuming it has to be soon because it's been out for a while now. But we're not going to go over this unless there's something big. Uh, Shareholder? Oh. Interesting. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. A lot of changes here. Okay, here we go. ARAM Mayhem. So, it's so sad to me that this is a limited time mode. They kept it on for a lot longer than I thought they would. I am absolutely in love with this thing. This is my go-to game mode to play. I absolutely love this fucking game mode. It's Arena, but better. And once this is gone, I'm probably going to go back to Arena because I just love randomness, I love augments, and I love roguelike type gameplay. And ARAM just adds a whole other layer on that because we're all in one lane and it's all random. And it's amazing. Please, Riot, bring this back or extend it or make it permanent, please. So let's see if they're going to say how popular it's been. So they love seeing all the clips and stuff. This is where I really wish they just update this shit. They're bringing some exciting prismatics from Arena. Oh, shit! They'll be limited to 1 player per game. What? We've also reworked Ultimate Awakening, keeping score Ultimate to Basic Ability Fantasy. Two more items from Arena. Okay. So let's see what they're doing. I'm actually very interested in this. Earthquake. I actually never take this in Arena. I actually hate this augment. God damn it. Wow. And only two players can take it because then it would just be a clusterfuck on the screen. So it's not necessarily because it's OP. It's really more so because there's too much visual noise, which is kind of sad. And then orbital laser. Oh my fucking god. Orbital laser? Okay, that's pretty fun. Yeah, only one person can have that, or else it's going to be a cluster fucking. True Shot Prodigy. Okay. The barrage deals blah blah. 15 seconds overall, not per target. Limit to one player per game. Okay. This is a pretty good one. I actually really like this one. Cerberus. Oh. PTA and Hail Blades. Wow. And this is where I've noticed when you get the one with lethal, it's actually the old lethal tempo. It's not like the current one in Summoner's Rift. The old one gives you range when you fully stack it, and that's the one that's in ARAM Mayhem. Because the current one in Rift does not give you range when you fully stack it. So, in a way, the Mayhem one is actually better. Doors Box, that is crazy. I actually really like that one. Stackosaurus Rex, that one is a classic in fucking Arena. I love that one. That's amazing. And then Ultimate Awakening. Okay. Slightly different, but that's fine. Gunblade is coming back, and they're kind of jumping the gun here because this is only in ARAM Mayhem, but this is also coming back in next season as well. Sword of Blossoming Dawn. Ooh. Peppermint on hit, heal the lowest health nearby. Oh, wow. Effervescence. Huh. So, more Supremes. Cool. And then augments, feel the burn, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is where, like, this was really short range, so that's good. Upgraded Zanya's, that's actually insane. What the fuck? They're halving Zanya's cooldown. That's insanity. Snowball upgrade is whatever, I never take that shit. And then slow and steady is getting buffed because that shit's really ass. Okay, bonus crit. Okay, nice. So now you get if you get crit shards, which usually the game doesn't last that long, but if you get crit shards, you get bonus AD now or bonus force. So that's cool. And then they're fixing Bloom Hex gates again because people keep walking into them by accident. And then it's bug fixes, and then it's Summoner's Rift Clash. Ew! I'm so sad because I missed some of the ARAM Clash, but I love ARAM Clash. Please bring it back sooner. And then more bug fixes, and then finally the skins. So in classic winter fashion, we are getting some nice winter skins. Now, I will have to say, and we'll get to these two here. These two are like their own separate problem. But the Winter Wonder skins, and the Zeri one is actually a legendary. It really sucks that it's for Zeri, because Zeri is, in my opinion, one of the worst ADs right now, and just has been in general. But the skin looks relatively decent. I've seen a little bit of it. I think the quality is decent, but I'm gonna go watch Exol to really confirm that. But it's a decent pick. I think Zeri does need some more skins, and the splash art's great, and Zeri's cool too. The Winter Wonder Milio skin is probably his best skin, unless you really like frogs. It's very cute. It's very colorful. It's the opposite of his usual theme, which is fire. It's ice, and I love that. And then, in my opinion, the skin that steals the whole show, the guy who really doesn't get a lot of skins either way, Reindeer Smolder. This skin, to me, fits perfectly. It's the perfect champion, and it looks amazing. It has a nice color palette, nice variety, great effects, great everything. Whoopee. And then we have Prestige Mel. She looks whatever. Mel's okay. She probably has a good skin, but I feel like it's just gonna get sullied by them nerfing Mel a lot. But then we move on to these things. So for those of you who don't know, these two skins that are coming are Riot's newest attempt at, in my opinion, leeching us dry for our money and doing the bare minimum of work. So what do I mean by that? This Lucian skin and this Nami skin are essentially reskins of already existing legendaries. The Lucian skin is from High Noon, and the Nami skin, if you couldn't tell, was from Coven. Both legendaries, by the way. And this is where these are in the gacha machine. So, if anything, I actually think they're shooting themselves in the foot. And Riot, unlike many other companies, is receptive to the fans. So if the fans, number one, don't buy it, that's obviously the telltale sign. But number two, even if they complain and still buy it, Riot can relatively maybe change things around as well. But I think these things should not be allowed to go forward. I mean, at the end of the day, it's cosmetic, who really cares? However, this is where the fact that they're reusing these, and it would be different if they just made you pay $15 for these, right? If they priced it like a regular legendary, but this is in the gotcha machine. Now, I'm not going to say they didn't do anything to the skins. The skins have new backs and new effects and stuff, sure, but they're using old legendary stuff. They're using reused shit. Oh, excuse me. It's almost making me want to vomit. But this is where I would say, well, the skins are decent, and I think it's a good alternative. It should not be in the gotcha machine. But again, maybe it's better it's in the gotcha machine because then a lot of people won't even go for it. The people who know what it is, I think, are not going to buy this. Now, granted, that might be the minority, and then the majority are just, casuals who will buy anything. Who knows? But one can hope. But yeah, I know we're not gonna ever get back to the days of the old battle pass where we can like just keep earning infinite orbs until the pass ended. But man, how far have we fallen? But in every other way, League is doing pretty well. I mean, again, next season is very exciting. And even though these skins are redos, I think the theme is really good and they're obviously putting some quality into it. But aside from that, this Smolder skin is just really taking the cake. But it's a pretty light patch, and you can see the end game there for some of the stuff. The Zeri skin looks okay. In my opinion, the Smolder skin looks the best, and then the Milio skin is the second best. And then Mel is just doing her own thing. It's a decent skill for Mel, though. Or skin for Mel. But the Smolder skin is just so fucking good. But aside from that, that's pretty much the patch. I would say mostly nonsense, not really anything crazy. The biggest crazy stuff is probably the stuff to Mayhem, because I feel like that's changing the game the most compared to the Rift stuff. The only other thing crazy is WASD. So you know what? Preemptively, because I feel like I'm going to rate the new season pretty high initially, even though that has no bearing on this rating here. With WASD coming in and then putting new stuff into ARAM Mayhem, I'm actually gonna give this, and because they didn't really break anything this patch either, they didn't really nerf anything like egregiously. I'm probably gonna give this patch like I would give it like honestly a 7 out of 10 Marc Merrills. I think the future of League is very exciting, even though sometimes the balance is whatever. And Riot themselves acknowledge that ADC is weak, which is why in the new year, hopefully they don't go back on their buffs, but they are buffing ADC crazy. But yeah, that's going to be it. 7 out of 10 Marc Merrills. I'm very excited for the next video, although it might be a little long. But that's going to be it for me. Hope everyone enjoyed. Hope everyone has a good one. Tell me what you think of the patch notes. And if you want to see more of me, watch me at Twitch TV/Tecnics channel. Have a good one, everyone.